Okay, here is a tough love nugget. I want people to get results, okay? I just want people to get results. And those look like so different for so many people, right? I just finished asking a question on the Facebook page about why you work out. And I'm hearing all the right answers, right? And this discussion might be a bit spicy for people. Please don't take offense to this. I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone. This is a general information nugget for all of you to consider and understand that it's coming through love and wanting you to get results. And that is always why I have done my job, always. Of course, I have responsibilities financially, and I will tell a quick story about that, which, is pretty funny actually. But if I'm not seeing my clients telling me that they're getting results, or me seeing results in pictures, it's not fun for me either. It's just as much shitty situation it is for me as it is for you too. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because I think we need to be very honest about one reason why we don't typically talk about, because it causes us to feel like we're being vain or like very self-centered or even narcissistic. But I do have to be honest with you that, and us trainers, we want you to focus on the longevity aspect of why we work out. We want you to focus on the fact that you can keep up with your grandkids or your brand new babies. We want you to say, I don't want to be like my parents did and age frail and not independent. Those are the things we want you to focus on, because the physical changes take the longest, right? And so if we can convince you that the longevity and the vitality and the ability to do all your exercises is the main reason, which it should be, right? Of course, you will get more out of it and stay with it. And then through those actions of remembering why we do it for those important reasons, then once we kind of stay consistent with those physical changes start happening. And then everything else starts coming together, right? But those physical changes, the ones that change the shape of your body, are the ones that take so long. So if a trainer can get you focusing on the real reasons that you should be strength training, the real reasons, right? Then you will stick with it. You will stay motivated, because your why is more important than the why is more important, right? Because you want to be vital, basically, is the biggest reason why we want to maintain lean mass on our bodies. But the other reason why we do work out, and you may not admit it or even think that you are in this mindset at all, but every single one of you, there is someone that wants or that does want to improve your physical body. The reason why I know this is because every single client of mine, whether you were comfortable with your body fat, over body fat, or too lean, some clients I had to actually put some mass on them because they were underweight. Every single one of those people that said, I don't care about what I look like, came back 6 months, sometimes it took a year, and say, I actually do want to look better. So there is all deep down inside in every single one of you ladies is someone that wants to look better. Whether or not you would like to admit it or not, there is. Just because I know women's psychology through so many years of talking and listening, basically listening, a lot of talking to, who am I trying to kid? But I understand what's going on up here. So I love that we're focusing on those reasons, because that's what's going to keep you going, right? If you focus on what's not physically changing, you're going to give up way too quickly. So that is the right mindset. But I do want to make sure that as a coach, someone who is training you, I want you to understand the importance of improving habits to get those physical changes that I know you all want, right? And so the biggest thing, and I want you to understand this, is your habits, the way you eat, how many calories you're putting into your body will absolutely determine your body composition. We strength train, we work hard, we're building the muscle, but if your nutrition isn't where it needs to be, you will not see the muscle. Your body will be holding a layer of fat on it. You're gonna have the muscle, so you're gonna get the benefits from it. But if you physically want to see the hard work, you have to start shedding unwanted body fat to see it. You'd be shocked, right? A lot of women will, look really fit, strong women, right? They're very small, but then they take off their clothes and they look like, maybe they did a cycle of testosterone or something. It's because they're just really lean. They don't have any fat on them. So you just, even if you're underweight and not working out, right, you get that sickly looking feeling. All my point is that nutrition matters if you want to physically see your hard work. And that means that you have to be considering your calories. You do have to be considering your macros, but more importantly, you have to be considering your calories. How many calories are you consuming versus how many calories are you expending? And I do see some posts on there, some very wrong, incorrect posts about women claiming that they are leaner and fitter and more muscular in a surplus of calories versus when they were in a deficit, they were overweight and pudgy in a deficit. There is absolutely no way that makes any sense. So when a client or someone I know says to me, I lost weight when I started eating more, no, it is literally impossible. You are not messing with metabolisms by skipping meals. I mean, I don't want you skipping meals, right? But metabolism doesn't work that way, okay? So in fact, sometimes a little bit of hunger, right? I always say you should feel a little peckish before you go to bed because you've utilized, in my mind and in your body's, the way it kind of addresses things. That's why I would say don't eat 3 to 4 hours before bed. Utilize those calories. That's why your meal should be smaller throughout the day. Big in the morning, big in the that's when your body, unless of course you're doing shifts, and then that's, you have to figure that out. But that stuff matters if you want to change the shape of your body. If someone is telling you that they're eating more and they're tracking their calories, my only question to them, my only thought about that would be that they admitted alcohol and weren't tracking that. So yes, if you were drinking alcohol and eating in a deficit, then taking alcohol out and eating in a surplus, right? There's going to be probably some weight loss there, even though yes, in fact, you are eating 3 to 4, even 500 calories more a day, but you've taken the 800 to 2,000 calories out per day of drinking. Of course, you're going to get those results. That is the only way that you can eat more and lose body fat. That's it. So I want to make sure that you understand that. And there really isn't a way that you can wreck metabolisms through, I want to this is where there's that fine line, right? What do I say that's not gonna, I want you to hear what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, right? And I want you to eat breakfast. I never want you to skip breakfast, especially if you were starting to hit perimenopause. To me, it's still the number one most important meal of the day. It sets the tone. Most of you are getting up, working out first thing in the morning. Your body requires all of the macros, right? So please don't think that if you're skipping a meal, that you're breaking down or slowing down your metabolism. That's just not how it happens. You also could be think if you're not tracking, you think you might be eating more just because you're again increasing that protein. So I want to just finish by telling you this one quick story. I know I was going to share another quick story about a client that I had, which I still will share because I think it's very important. But I wanted to tell you that when I was walking today, Neil and I were just chit-chatting. I'm always talking about this and that one. I love what I do and I'm very passionate about it. And I just really want all of you to make sure that you're continuing to push yourself past comfort zones, to really, truly dig deep. I know I always say one habit at a time, and I want you to focus on one habit at a time. So if you're still focusing on getting these 3 workouts in, and that's something you're great, but please come back to this nugget and pay attention to when you are ready to start making new important habits improve. then this is a reminder that how you fuel your body is it is the only thing that matters in terms of body composition. Your body, obviously, when you lose the body fat, you'll see all your hard work, and that's when, that's when you look like you've worked out, right? So we want to see the results. We want to see our hard work, plain and simple. So I was talking to Neil, and I saw this before and after of someone who claimed she was on 1,500 calories and she was quite chubby, and then she was on 3,000 calories a day, and now she's a lean, mean fighting machine. And I was saying to Neil, it's just wrong. It's just incorrect information. And then I was saying how, I want more of my clients to be posting before and afters. I want to see it. I want to see it. I'm selfish. I don't even need to post it. I love when I get feedback and saying like, I'm moving better, and I have more confidence because I know my body is capable of this, and this. But I also want you to change physically if you need to, and if you want to. I want that for you too. So there is a place in the app, I'm going to get to the story, there is a place in the app that you can put those pictures. If you're keeping them for yourself, great. I'd like to see them too. And I promise you, I won't post anything without your permission, but I want to see some of your physical changes too. Like really bad, because it makes me feel good inside too, right? Just throwing it out there. Share your successes, both physically and of course, all the mobility and strength movements that you're doing too. Of course, I want to hear that. I love all of the positive feedback. But I was saying to him, I feel sometimes that maybe my clients don't get the physical changes as quickly as because I'm not as kind of forcing it down your throat. So I'm not like saying you need to do this and you need to do that, because I don't want you to feel like it's something that is a temporary thing. I want you to establish these habits and keep them going for your life, right? So you get the results, but you get them forever, right? That's my first and most important thing. But I said, like somewhere along the line, I'm not getting those before and afters, and I want to see those. And you know what he said to me? He said, Tish, what you're going to find is 90% of your clients won't see physical changes. And I looked at him and I'm like, I'm going to tell him you said that. And like, he doesn't care, but I know he's wrong. And I'd like to, prove to him. There's someone coming up the door, so I should cut this off. But anyways, hopefully Neil can get that and it's not so disruptive. I do have the door closed. But anyways, I really want you to, just remember that you do have to master one habit at a time, but I also want you to remember and be honest with yourself and what some of the reasons, or a tiny bit of you does actually want to see some physical changes. Hey, I'm a 50-year-old woman who, notices my skin is like not as succulent, and, I'm getting weird waffly skin in some areas, and it really bothers me. But I promise you, until I am like, 85 probably, and just not able to, keep up with the upkeep, I am never going to stop trying to look and be my best. Never. I will always continue to keep up with nutrition, with supplements, with my hair. I'm just gonna keep getting better. And there's tons of women in my life that are much older than me that are doing the exact same, and I'm inspired by that. And I just hope that this helps you to continue to push yourself. You have to continue to push yourself, okay? Much love. Remember, it's just because I love you, I want results from you, and I want you to get something out of your efforts. And so nutrition is something that you definitely need to consider. Okay, have a good week.